Hello, my name is Gus, but you can call me BATGUS, and we are back with our Batman the Animated Series commentary. So today's episode is gonna be The Cat and Her Claws, an episode that features none other than the introduction of Catwoman into the animation. It also is a two-parter episode, so we're gonna have part 1 and 2, just like the episodes of Two-Face, right? So let's go. As usual, I'm gonna start our countdown. If you are watching this episode in your DVD or Blu-ray box set or your streaming service that has Batman the Animated Series, you can count with me and we can start watching together, okay? So let's go. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. We have the Warner Bros. Logo on the screen. And this episode is very interesting because it shows another style of story in the show that is the kind of secret agent or spy thriller, right? Something a little in the style of James Bond kind of story. And I really love that in these episodes. I really like these 2 episodes of Catwoman that introduce her because we're going to have this kind of terrorist plot that Batman and Catwoman have to solve. And it's a very interesting style of story in this animation as well. As I said before, the animation, Batman the Animated Series, is my favorite animation because it has all these different styles of stories that, as the series progresses, we're going to see sci-fi kind of story. We're going to see, like this one, a spy thriller. We're also going to see dramatic plots and some funny ones, comedic, right, episodes, and also very serious issues, styles of episodes, like social discussions and things like that. So this is why this is my favorite TV series, TV animated series, and this episode is one example of that. This episode, I mean, the whole idea of a spy thriller really attracts me in the Batman lore. Generally, my favorite kind of story in not only in this animation but in Batman in Batman lore is when he faces something a little more dark, like a monster, or there is a supernatural element, something very dark. I appreciate this kind of stories, but I also like when they take the narrative to this kind of James Bondian style of story. Anyway, the episode already started. We have Catwoman breaking into a building to steal a necklace that has some diamonds, and she's using her cat Isis to do it, which is a very interesting way to steal things in the best Catwoman style. And then Batman spots her on top of the building, and we're gonna have this great confrontation right in the beginning of the episode that will show Batman and Catwoman not only chasing each other on top of the buildings, jumping from rooftop to rooftop, but we also gonna have them teasing each other with their own with very good and very well written lines. And I really love this beginning. I really think it's very faithful to the style of stories that Batman and Catwoman, when these 2 characters are together, should be. This is the kind of story that we should have. That is, they are enemies, but they're also kind of attracted to each other, and not only the this story is about these two characters trying to get to each other, but it is also very charming. It's not only just hero and villain thing, right? Um, and the chase is very long, right? They jump from rooftop to rooftop, and Batman tries to get in front of her or ahead of her in the chase. She fights him at some point using her claws. Uh, I think this is one of the episodes in the series that has the most cinematic tone, in my opinion. The whole two-parter of the cat and the claws, or the cat and her claws. I forgot now the real title, but it is really the way the script and the story is developed is very cinematic. It could very well be translated to a movie because the characters are very well written in the story. The animation is great. The whole spy genre, like I said, until now is very well portrayed as well and very well embedded in the story. So this is one of those. This is one of those cinematic episodes of this series. And this series has many of those, actually. So Catwoman was able to escape Batman, and he saved her cat that was almost hit by a truck. And later we're going to have a party scene, a celebration to an auction, actually, to help the animals of Gotham, which is a very, very important characteristic of this character of Catwoman. She's a animal rights activist, right? So her character is pretty connected to the whole save the animals cause, which I always think is a great characteristic of the character Catwoman. I'm not sure if this comes from the comics. It surely doesn't come from the movies, but I think it's a great characteristic of the character. And in the party, Bruce Wayne is auctioning a date with him to help the animals with the money that is going to be summoned in this auction. And the winner of the auction that wins the date is none other than Selina Kyle, Catwoman. And she shows up to Bruce. She actually doesn't want the date. She just wants the money to help the animals. I mean, she just wants to give the money to help the animals. But Bruce is immediately smothered by her. He is completely in love right away. And this is a very important aspect of their relation, is that probably Catwoman is the best and the only true love of Bruce, right? In his life. At least that's the way I like to see. Because Bruce and Batman has so many relationships in his lore. He basically he got all the girls that he wanted in, if you count all the Batman lore, including all medias. But I don't think all these romantic relationships are appropriate for the Batman, except for two that I think is Catwoman and Talia al Ghul. Those are the ones that are my favorite, and the ones that I think are the most important for his lore. And we have now we are having a chase. Batman is chasing some criminals that are smuggling some weapons. and it's a very good chase for this episode. Like I said, this episode in particular is very well animated. I'm not sure if the second one is that well animated. I think not so much, but we will see later. We will see in the next episode. But this one is perfectly animated. It's one of the best ones in the series. And Commissioner Gordon arrives, gets the criminals, and him and Batman talk in the alleyway, and Gordon reveals that these criminals work for Red Claw, one of the ruthless terrorists in the whole world. And this is a name to be remembered later, because the plot will pay out regarding this character later in the episode. So we see a little more of Selina Kyle's life. She lives in this penthouse with her secretary and many cats, including her main cat. There is Isis. As usual, she has many cats living with her. And Bruce Wayne is on the way up to have a date with her, the date that she bought in the auction. But one of the most interesting aspects of this dynamic of Batman, Bruce Wayne, and Catwoman, Selina Kyle, is that Catwoman and Selina Kyle loves Batman, but not Bruce Wayne. And Bruce Wayne loves both, right? Catwoman and Selina Kyle. So it's a very interesting dynamic that she loves one of the identities, but not the other. And anyway, very interesting dynamic. And Selina Kyle receives a message about this guy, this rich guy who is negotiating a wildlife preserve area to be sold. And Selina receives this news and wants immediately to set a meeting with this guy and do something to preserve the area for the animals and not to have it sold. So Bruce Wayne is able to help her with his contacts, and she says she's starting to like this guy. We have this Catwoman, this version of the character is very much based on Selina Kyle, of course, but Michelle Pfeiffer's version of Selina Kyle in Batman Returns, especially the visual, right? She's blonde, she's beautiful. She's very much based on that version because the TV series, the animated series, came up almost in parallel with Batman Returns. Both are from 1992. And two characters obviously were affected by the release of the movie, the Penguin and Catwoman, right? Both were in that movie. Bruce Timm was forced by Warner Bros. To go to the set of Batman Returns and basically copy the visual style of the Penguin. And I'm sure that happened also with Catwoman, but not so much as the Penguin, because Penguin is really pretty much exactly like the version of the movie in this animation. And I think Catwoman basically just her normal appearance, right? Her Selina Kyle appearance was based on Michelle Pfeiffer, but not the Catwoman, because in the movie Catwoman wears that black latex suit and or black leather suits, I'm not sure, but according to the animators in this show, it would be very difficult to draw a complete, full black clothed Catwoman, because of the show. The show is so dark, right? The black background, she would blend into the black backgrounds if she was drawn full black clothed. So that didn't happen. Anyway, so the meeting with the millionaire didn't go anywhere. It didn't help very much, because the area of the animals, the wildlife area, will be sold. So after that, it is revealed that this rich guy has connections with Red Claw, and it is revealed that Red Claw is actually a woman, a terrorist, female terrorist. Then Batman goes after these gangsters that are having a meeting as well, and he basically breaks into the meeting. Very good scene, by the way, where he threatens one of the gangsters to give information about the dealings that Red Claw is doing on Gotham. Very well written scene, and Batman arrives in a very imposing and fantastic manner to get these guys. So Catwoman, now dressed as Catwoman, she goes back to the millionaire's penthouse because she's going to get some evidence that this guy has dirty deals. And he indeed has dirty deals, right? Because he's working with Red Claw. And Red Claw is doing a meeting with many other goons of her terrorist group to talk about a plan that they're going to perform in the second episode, that is to steal a cargo train with some toxic chemicals that will be used to create a bomb to explode in Gotham. So they are real terrorists, right? Meanwhile, Catwoman broke into the penthouse. She decoded a way to get into the rich guy's vaults, and there she will find some evidences of his dirty deals. Unfortunately, there is a camera filming her in the place, and her images are shown in Red Claw's meeting. So she will eventually be caught. And there's going to be this a very good chase between Catwoman and the goons of the terrorist group in this penthouse. So Catwoman already took some photos of the evidences. This kind of reminds us of the Zoe Kravitz version of the character in the Batman, in that scene where she breaks a vault of the politician in the movie. And now Red Claw is chasing Catwoman in the air ducts. At least her goons are. And there is this very good scene where she's being chased by this guy in the ducts, ventilation ducts, and Catwoman leaves some iron little cats in the surface of the ventilation duct, so that the guy gets spiked by them while chasing her, and she is able to get ahead of him. She finds a detour, and she is able to climb this detour to get to the rooftop. And there we'll probably have the best scene of this of this episode, that is when she will try escape of the building, but the terrorists are after her, and she jumps from one rooftop to the other. And her cat Isis makes it the jump, but she almost doesn't. She hangs on the edge of another building, but then Red Claw shoots her and basically explodes the edge of this building, and she falls from it. And this is where we have this very good save by Batman. He just arrives in his rope and gets her in midair, and we have this wonderful scene that she immediately kisses him in midair. Great scene, very great scene. One of my favorites in this animation, because it's really, really one of the best scenes between these two characters, and really sets their whole relation straight. So they talk over the top of another building. He says that she needs to reveal herself and surrender to the law, and she gets upset with him. She kicks him out of the roof, and he falls and hangs on a window down in the middle of the building, the building's facade. And there is the famous line, "We will meet very soon," and she leaves the rooftop. So again, this is what I like about this version of Catwoman, and generally about all versions of Catwoman. They have this romantic flair, this thing going on between them, but Batman can never really trust her, right? She's always with some second plans in her mind. Then we have the final scene where Selina arrives in her apartment. She gives the evidences to her secretary, but one of the terrorists, one of the guys, followed her and is recording her from afar, from another building, right? He is able to see her by a binocular from his building to her penthouse. But anyway, so the episode ends. To be continued. Let's see the second episode soon enough in the next video. Okay, thank you so much if you have watched it with me. And if you are liking this Batman the Animated Series content, please don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next episode, and bye-bye.